So in today's video, we are going to doing our first part of a series. We are going to be listing our top worst movies of the year so far. Travis and I will he'll probably be doing, I think, 10 movies. I only have 9 movies listed, but we're going to be doing our worst movies of the year so far.
And also keep in mind that these are the movies that we have personally seen. We haven't seen every movie, so maybe some of the worst might not make it on the list, and that is because we haven't seen those movies yet.
Also keep in mind this is also just a matter of opinion. So without further ado, here we go.
My number 10 pick of the year so far for worst is Uncharted. Mainly because I love the games that this movie is based on. And the biggest issue is not just the miscasting, but the fact that it took such a unique action series and basically made it into literally the most generic Jason Bourne-esque movie out there. All it was just a playlist of the popular events from the game. Like, remember this from the games? Remember this? If anything, for the most part, it has the name and nothing else.
And at my number 9 pick, I have listed a movie I just saw actually like a week ago, which is Honor Society. Honor Society is a movie on Paramount Plus, and it's your typical run-of-the-mill movie. Girl needs to do something to get into college, and she needs to basically sabotage other people. One of the people she's sabotaging, she falls in love with and ends up helping him in the end of the movie instead of her. It's your run-of-the-mill, I'd say, rom-com kind of. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't a terrible movie, but it wasn't all that good.
My number 9 pick would have to be Fantastic Beasts: The Secret of Dumbledore. And this has nothing to do with the J.K. Rowling thing. I have completely judged the film on its own without any politics whatsoever. And all I can say is that it is better than Crimes of Grindelwald, but it's not much better. The problem is that I like the idea of the plot of the movie, but it drags so much. Like, it borderline gets boring at points.
I'm going to say pretty much the same things because my number 8 pick is Fantastic Beasts and the Secret of Dumbledore. And one thing I will say is, out of the 3 Fantastic Beasts movies, this is definitely not the worst. I think it definitely, like you said, it beats out Grindelwald. But I feel like, based on the whole thing that happened with Johnny Depp, right? Mm-hmm. You feel bad that Johnny Depp got recast and stuff like that. But I feel like, in my opinion, the guy that they got to play Grindelwald, he did it in a way where it was like he was a little bit darker than Johnny Depp. You know what I mean?
More like when he played Hannibal Lecter.
Exactly.
Because it's the same guy.
Because this guy had no emotion whatsoever.
And the thing is, I honestly felt they should not have made a continuation of the Newt Scamander thing.
Yeah.
I think they should have just had each story take place separate from each other, because Newt Scamander is not that interesting of a character to hold an entire series together. And I think they should have done an anthology type thing where each one is different, and if it works, great. And if not, oh well, it doesn't affect the full narrative in the end.
Yep, and they already renewed for 2 more movies, so I guess we'll see what else is going to happen,
Mm-hmm. Well, number 8 is really going to make people mad, because my number 8 pick is going to be Jurassic World Dominion.
Yep.
Because there are people that really like these movies for some reason, the world films. I'm not talking about Park. But the Jurassic World movies, people really like as a, just turn your brain off and enjoy the ride. What did you expect? You just don't like it because it's not as good as Jurassic Park. No, I don't like it just because it's a boring slog to sit through with uninteresting, borderline unlikable characters that make stupid decisions just to further the plot.
Exactly.
And for a movie about dinosaurs, they sideline them and make them about locusts.
Okay, so my next pick is my number 7 on my list, which is a movie that Travis already covered, which was Uncharted. I didn't play much of the games, but I knew enough about the games to know that they really kind of screwed this movie up. And, it's really hard to make a good video game adaptation of a movie. And this is probably the simplest one they could have done.
It's just Indiana Jones in modern times. That's it.
It's the simplest one they could have done, and I feel like they really screwed it up. And the good part I will take away from this is Tom Holland. He was good in the movie.
Yeah.
I will say that.
The unfortunate thing is that he's acting like Spider-Man, and that has to do with the direction.
Yep.
And Mark Wahlberg should not have been Sully. I will say I personally have met the guy before. Mark Wahlberg is a nice guy. I have met him, but this was a big miscast for this character. My next pick is one that not many have probably seen, but Studio 666, which was a passion project by the Foo Fighters, and it's more of a horror comedy that's also a throwback to the 1970s, early 80s slasher films. Well, I hate to say, but it wasn't scary for sure, and it most certainly was not funny. It was it was going sort of for a Napoleon Dynamite-esque quip fest or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was more weird than funny.
And I think one of the big problems is they used it as a huge promotion for their new album, too.
I think that might have been the case.
So.
But I do know that this was a thing that this guy wanted to make for a while.
Yeah.
But, oh my god, it was so painful to sit through because it just wasn't funny.
My next pick on the list is a movie that came out this year called Marry Me. It is, again, your run-of-the-mill typical rom-com starring J-Lo and Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Owen Wilson, he plays the same character like pretty much over and over again. He has that same monotone voice. J-Lo, I've seen her in a couple movies now, and she's not like a terrible actress, but she's a singer, so you got a lot of musicians that go from singing to acting, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But what I will say about the movie is I didn't find too terribly wrong with it. It wasn't a great movie. That's why it's on my worst list, and it was just very corny and your typical run-of-the-mill rom-com.
My number 6 pick was one that came early this year, the 355. And I think the biggest thing is that it wasted a lot of the talent there. You had Jessica Chastain, Lupita Nyong'o, Penelope Cruz, Diane Kruger, and they were just all wasted in this movie. I don't know who I don't remember the name of the other person. I know that she was a big actress in China, but she was fine in the movie. But literally, everyone was completely wasted in literally the most generic plot spy thriller that you can ever come across. And it was so badly shot and edited, like I could not comprehend what was going on in the action scenes or who was even winning each of the fights. It just wasn't engaging at all. I don't really remember much of what happened, except why did you waste these people's talent?
So guys, we are going to continue our picks for our worst movies of 2022 in part 2. So look out for that video. I will be posting them probably right after one another. So be looking out for that, and we're out.